First, I'd just like to make the point that we're very fortunate that His Majesty has allowed us to use Buckingham Palace for this event, and I need to say that.
At this year's Trooping the Colour, something truly unexpected happened. Princess Anne, known for her loyalty and dedication, publicly crowned Catherine with the rare title of Monarch's Honor. It wasn't just a sweet gesture. It was a bold and shocking change in royal dynamics. For a woman who's always been the monarchy's quiet powerhouse, this move felt like a passing of the torch.
I'm slightly frightened by the concept that it's already my 16th ceremony. They seem to have flown by.
So what made Princess Anne choose Catherine? And what does this mean for the future of the crown? Join us as we uncover the deeper meaning behind this royal power move. The stunning moment at Trooping the Colour. There's something deeply magical about Trooping the Colour. The sound of horses thundering down the parade ground, the shimmer of polished metals catching the morning light, and the bold, fluttering flags all come together to create a scene that feels like something out of a storybook. Every year, London comes alive with pageantry and pride as people line the streets to watch a tradition that stretches back centuries. And this year, on June 14, 2025, something happened that no one expected. The air was filled with the rhythms of more than 400 musicians, and over 1,400 soldiers stood in perfect formation. Their scarlet tunics were vibrant under the summer sun, and their bearskin caps added to the visual splendor. Over 200 horses marched gracefully across Horse Guards Parade. It was all part of a celebration that marks the official birthday of the British monarch. But even with all this tradition and ceremony, this year's event felt different. It felt charged. And while the Coldstream Guards celebrated their 375th anniversary, and while King Charles III sat in a carriage alongside Queen Camilla due to his cancer treatment, all eyes began to shift toward Princess Anne. She wasn't just part of the parade. She was at the heart of it.
So that we give the opportunities for our award winners to develop what they know is necessary.
Keep watching to find out what truly stunned the world during this unforgettable royal ceremony. At 74 years old, Princess Anne still rode her horse, noble, with the calm confidence of someone born in the saddle. She wore her blues and royals uniform with pride, every medal gleaming as if it were new. Even as Noble grew restless under the pressure of pounding music and cheering crowds, Anne never flinched. She calmly brought the mare back under control with a gentle tug of the reins, her focus never wavering. She looked every inch the leader, and it was clear something important was about to happen. As the parade reached its peak, the Coldstream Guards paused to present their color. At that moment, the mood shifted. The loud music stopped, the clatter of hooves quieted. A respectful silence fell across the parade ground as King Charles led a tribute to the victims of the recent Air India plane crash. 241 lives were lost, including 53 Britons. It was a deeply emotional moment, one that grounded the grandeur of the day in real human sorrow.
241 people on board the flight died. One British passenger escaped through a hole in the fuselage.
And then, as if guided by something larger than ceremony, Princess Anne rose in her stirrups. Her voice carried clearly across the crowd and through the BBC broadcast. She spoke with calm authority as she declared Catherine, Princess of Wales, the new Marshal of the Monarch's Honor. The appointment was historic, and the crowd responded with thunderous cheers that rolled down the Mall and echoed through the streets. Catherine, who had stepped onto the dais in a cream Emilia Wickstead coat dress, stood beside King Charles. For a moment, she looked surprised. Her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, watched from the balcony, beaming with pride. Prince Louis even flashed a cheeky, gap-toothed smile. It was a family moment, yet it was a royal milestone too. Princess Anne dismounted with the ease of a seasoned equestrian and walked with purpose to Catherine's side. The two women stood together, one handing down a roll, the other accepting it with grace. It wasn't rehearsed, but it felt natural. It was clear this wasn't just a random announcement, it was the beginning of something much bigger. The title, Marshal of the Monarch's Honor is brand new. It was created in 2025, and it carries immense weight. As Marshal, Catherine will represent King Charles in ceremonial salutes to the regiments of the Household Division. That means whenever there's a major military event, it'll be Catherine stepping forward. She's already Colonel of the Irish Guards, so this new role builds on what she's already doing. But it goes a step further. It shows that the monarchy is looking to her as a future pillar of its image and strength. And many believe this wasn't just a decision made in some palace office. Sources say it was Princess Anne's idea. She saw in Catherine someone who understands duty and who has quietly risen to every challenge thrown her way, including her battle with cancer, which she announced remission from just 5 months earlier. For Anne, who has always valued strength and service over status, Catherine was the clear choice. The setting was perfect for this handover. Trooping the color has always been about loyalty, pride, and history. But this year, it was also about legacy, and Princess Anne made sure it was Catherine's name that would be remembered. However, not everyone inside the palace was thrilled. Reports suggest Queen Camilla wasn't consulted about the decision. She rode in a separate carriage, and during the main ceremony, she was visibly in the background while Catherine stood in full view of the world. Some say this was a subtle signal that power is changing to the next generation. Others believe it reflects deeper tensions behind closed doors. Even so, the moment belonged to Catherine. As the Coldstream Guards passed by with their color lowered, she stepped forward and gave a salute that was steady, confident, and deeply respectful. Her dress moved gently in the breeze, and every movement she made was precise. It wasn't just an act. It was a signal that she was ready. King Charles, dressed in his scarlet uniform with a black armband in tribute to the plane crash victims, looked on with quiet approval.
Javed was among those killed when the London-bound Air India flight crashed on Wednesday.
Prince William, mounted on Derby, Queen Elizabeth's former horse, caught his wife's eye. The glance between them was brief, but it said everything. They were a team, and this moment was part of a bigger journey they were taking together. Later, on the Buckingham Palace balcony, the royal family gathered to watch the Royal Air Force fly past. Catherine stood at the center with her children beside her, and each of them were dressed in coordinating shades of navy and white. Charlotte wore a Catherine Walker piece that echoed her mother's style. And little Louis waved energetically to the crowd. It was a picture of unity and modern royalty. Yet, beneath the smiles and waves, the impact of the day continued to ripple. Some insiders say that Princess Anne's choice to announce the new title so publicly and so dramatically was meant to send a message that the monarchy's future isn't just in the hands of senior royals, but in those who've earned their place through grace, resilience, and service. Anne and Catherine have long shared a quiet bond. Both are deeply dedicated to their work. Both avoid unnecessary headlines. And both have a love for horses and a shared understanding of what it means to serve the crown. This wasn't just a royal title. It was a recognition of character, and Catherine rose to the moment. Her gentle touches to Charlotte's shoulder, her proud smile at George, and her firm stance beside her husband and King Charles told a story no title ever could. It told the world she was ready. But here's the most interesting part. This isn't the first time Princess Anne has quietly stepped up and made a big impact within the royal family. And her decision to appoint Catherine as the Marshal of the Monarch's Honor is just one more sign of how much influence she has always had in the monarchy. For years, Princess Anne has been supporting the royal family in ways that might not grab headlines. Yet her actions have continued to shape how the monarchy works and stays steady. Why Princess Anne did it, and why it matters. Princess Anne is not the kind of royal who seeks drama or invites attention for the sake of it. She has always been known as a woman of action who prefers to let her work speak for itself. People see her as a steady figure, someone who values loyalty, consistency, and a strong sense of duty. While other royals may often dominate headlines, it is Anne who continues to carry out hundreds of royal duties each year. And even though she does not always make big speeches or appear in glossy features, she remains one of the most respected members of the royal family. Year after year, when royal watchers count up how many public engagements each royal has done, Princess Anne is often at the very top of the list. She attends military events and appears at ceremonies, often without fanfare. Her reputation is not built on glamour or showmanship, but on hard work. She believes that being royal is not about receiving special treatment. Instead, she believes it is about showing up, serving others, and staying committed even when times are tough. And this is exactly why so many people admire her. During the 1990s, the royal family faced some of its most difficult times. The divorces of King Charles and Princess Diana, as well as Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, brought a lot of attention. And then there was the tragic death of Princess Diana, which shook the entire world. The royal family was placed under a harsh spotlight, and the pressure from the media was non-stop. Many people wondered how the monarchy would recover. But through all of that, Princess Anne stayed calm. She kept doing her job quietly, without adding to the drama. Even when she went through her own divorce from Captain Mark Phillips in 1992, she did not make it a public issue. She handled it privately and respectfully. Later, she married Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, and their marriage has remained steady and private. Unlike many royal couples who are often seen in the public eye, Anne and Timothy have kept their relationship out of the spotlight. And people began to admire Anne even more because of how she lived her life. She did not need to chase headlines. She simply remained focused on her duties. And while many members of the royal family have faced public criticism or challenges, Anne's quiet strength became something the public could rely on. Her approach to royal life has always been about service. She may not talk much about her opinions, but her actions have always revealed her beliefs. And one belief she holds strongly is that royals should always stay active and involved. That is why she has continued to maintain such a busy schedule for so many years. She has also shared her thoughts on the idea of a smaller royal team, something often referred to as a slimmed-down monarchy. King Charles supported this idea because he believes it will make the monarchy more efficient. But Anne has gently pushed back on that. She believes that if there are fewer royals doing public duties, then some important work might get missed. She has not publicly argued against the king, and she likely never will. But the way she continues to take on so many responsibilities shows how she truly feels. She is also known for visiting and supporting a wide range of groups. These include charities, military units, and community organizations. She makes time for them because she believes that the monarchy has to stay connected to the people. And in her view, the best way to do that is to be present. Anne shows that leadership means being visible. And for her, royal titles have never been about status. They are about service. One powerful evidence of Anne's values in action is her historic involvement in sport, especially equestrian competition and Olympic leadership. She was the first, and still the only, British royal to compete in the Olympic Games, representing Great Britain in the equestrian three-day event at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. Before that, she won a gold medal at the 1971 European Eventing Championship and silver medals in 1975. These achievements were not ceremonial roles. They required years of serious training and discipline. Competing at this level proved that she's a woman of action, committed to excellence and hard work. Long after her competitive days, Anne has remained closely tied to sport through leadership roles. She served as president of the International Equestrian Federation and is also the president of the British Olympic Association. These are not just honorary titles. She uses these positions to support Team GB and is often seen at the Games, cheering and representing Britain with pride. Her involvement in these organizations reflects her consistent support and practical engagement, not just symbolic presence. Another major evidence of her long-term commitment is her unwavering service to Save the Children UK. She has been involved with the charity since 1970, starting as its president and later becoming its patron. For over 50 years, Anne has worked with this organization, traveling to many difficult places around the world to see their work firsthand. She has met with children, families, and aid workers in some of the toughest regions. This is not just about lending her name to a cause. It is about being present, engaged, and committed to real impact. This level of dedication is rare and shows how deeply her belief is for values, service, and connection. That belief was also clear when she made a very personal decision regarding her own children. Even though she is the daughter of the Queen, she chose not to give royal titles to her son, Peter Phillips, and her daughter, Zara Tyndall. At the time, this choice surprised many people. Some thought it might be a mistake, but Anne had a clear reason for doing it. She wanted her children to have freedom. She did not want them to grow up with the pressure and attention that comes with being titled royalty. And now, after years, that decision is often seen as wise. Both Peter and Zara have grown up to live private, independent lives. They have careers outside of the royal spotlight. They are still close to the family, but they are not burdened by royal expectations. Anne's choice gave them space to live their own lives, and this has become another reason why people see her as thoughtful and forward-thinking. She made a choice that was unusual at the time, but it has proven to be the right one. Even though she chose not to pass down titles to her children, Anne never stepped back from her own responsibilities. She holds several honorary positions in the British Armed Forces, and she does not just wear the uniforms. She knows the meaning behind each one. She attends military parades, meets with regiments, and supports veterans. When she shows up, she is prepared. She does not just go through the motions. She understands her role and respects it deeply. One of the most emotional moments in recent royal history was after the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Princess Anne was the one who accompanied her mother's coffin from Balmoral to Windsor. No other royal did that. It was a private moment for her as a daughter, but it was also a public one. She represented the royal family with dignity and strength. It showed just how much trust the family has in her. She understood the importance of the moment, and she carried out her duty with care. Also, at King Charles's coronation, she was given the role of Gold Stick in Waiting. This is not just a fancy title. It means being personally responsible for the safety of the monarch, and this again showed how much Charles trusts her. While other royals may take on more visible roles or attract more attention, Anne's place behind the scenes remains incredibly important. She is involved in planning, organizing, and ensuring that royal events run smoothly. Her work is constant, even when it is not always seen. So when Princess Anne stood up during Trooping the Colour and named Catherine as Marshal of the Monarch's Honour, it was not just a surprise, it was a message. Anne does not make public gestures lightly. She saw something in Catherine that reminded her of the values she holds dear: commitment, quiet strength, and duty above all. By giving Catherine this new role, she was making a statement. It showed that Anne believes Catherine is ready to carry more weight in the monarchy, and it proved that Anne is still shaping the future of the royal family, not with speeches or interviews, but with meaningful action. But this doesn't end here, because how do you think Catherine's new role will reshape the future of the monarchy? Stay with us as we dive into what this really means for Catherine. Catherine role and the future of the crown. Catherine's journey in the royal family has never been about rushing to the spotlight. From the day she married Prince William in 2011, she chose to grow slowly and steadily, and instead of jumping into every royal duty or chasing headlines, she focused on learning what it really meant to serve the crown. She took her time and built her path carefully. Her work with early childhood development, mental health, and family support showed not just her sense of duty, but also the kind of queen she hopes to become, one who is kind, thoughtful, and focused on lasting change. But things began to change in recent years. King Charles's health struggles created a gap in royal leadership, and Prince William had to take on more responsibility. As that happened, Catherine's role naturally changed too. Many thought she would stay out of the public eye while dealing with her own health, yet she stayed connected. She released personal updates and quietly supported her favorite causes. And when she returned to public life, she did so with calm confidence. It was not loud or dramatic, but it made one thing clear, and that is, she was ready to step forward again. This return meant even more because of the trust she has built over the years. People see her as someone who is steady and sincere. She may not speak often, but when she does, her words carry weight. She does not seek attention, but when she appears, people pay attention. And in this time of change for the monarchy, those qualities matter more than ever. It is no longer just about waving to crowds. It is about showing strength when it counts. And Catherine has done exactly that. This is the reason why many believe that Princess Anne's decision to appoint Catherine as Marshal of the Monarch's honor is the right one. Anne has served the crown for decades, and she does not make symbolic choices without reason. So when she stood in front of the country and gave Catherine this title, it sent a strong message. Catherine is not only the Princess of Wales, she is also the future heart of the royal family. And many, including royal watchers, felt this was right. The title may sound ceremonial, but it holds real meaning. As Marshal of the Monarch's honor, Catherine will now represent the king in formal ceremonies involving the military. It places her right in the center of some of the monarchy's most important traditions. And more importantly, it shows that Catherine, not Queen Camilla, is stepping into that leading role. This isn't about competition, it is about preparation, and the royal family is clearly preparing for a future with Catherine at the core. Also, her leadership goes beyond public events. Inside the palace, Catherine's influence is growing. As the mother of Prince George, the future king, and as a guiding figure for Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, she is shaping the next generation of royals. Together with William, she is creating a family that balances royal life with a sense of normalcy. She is also becoming an important support to Prince William, just like Prince Philip was to Queen Elizabeth II. Catherine offers advice, keeps things calm, and brings a steady hand during stressful times. It may not be flashy, but it's the kind of support that holds everything together, and that is what lasting leadership looks like. Princess Anne's support made that clearer than ever. When someone with Anne's experience chooses to publicly back Catherine, it shows just how trusted she really is. It means Catherine is no longer simply preparing for the future, she is already helping to shape it. Because right now, the royal family is in transition. Queen Elizabeth is gone, King Charles is facing serious health issues, and Queen Camilla has stepped into a quieter role. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and Meghan are no longer working royals, and Prince Andrew is mostly out of the public eye. That leaves a smaller group carrying the royal duties, and Catherine is right at the center of that group. So when people see Catherine now, they see more than a princess. They see a future queen already stepping into her place. And this title, this moment, and this quiet trust are just the beginning of what comes next. So, do you think Princess Anne's bold move has changed how the royal family will operate moving forward? And is Catherine truly ready to become the heart of the monarchy? Or is the crown placing too much on her shoulders too soon? Drop it in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.